Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast, the podcast where we unlock the latest tech news, leaks, and rumors so you don't have to. I'm one of your hosts, Benjy from BenObi Tech, and I'm joined, as always, by Taylor from TA Tech. Taylor, how's it going, man? Feels like forever since we last recorded our last episode.
I was just about to say that, honestly. I feel like it's been forever. And what was it, like a week ago we were just live doing our special edition of this podcast? Man,
Yeah,
I
that
can't
was a
even
great
believe
episode.
it.
That was a great episode, I think. Even though
Have
it's
you-
not been posted on Apple Podcasts as of recording this.
Man, you gotta get to it, man. You gotta get to it. Have you seen the videos that have come out of the iPad Air?
I haven't seen the iPad Air ones, because I think they came out today, and I've just been busy with other things today. But I did watch the ones for the iPhone SE and everything.
What do you think of those?
I think they're good. I think somebody was complaining about MKBHD's iPhone SE video being like 10 minutes long. But like I watched it and I thought it was really good. Like he brought up some really good points on why people should buy this phone, things like that. Why people shouldn't buy it, that kind of stuff. And it kind of made, not, I wouldn't say completely changed my opinion on the iPhone SE, but slightly, because like now that I think of it, it's got the most powerful processor in any other smartphone other than the rest of the iPhone lineup, and it's coming at such a low price point. That I think is like one of the only advantages to the phone, in my opinion. So like that's one of the only reasons why I would even like in a million years consider getting one. But
yeah, true.
It is what it is. And I also saw your video. Yours was really good as well. Very short, very to the point. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. No, I had it a lot longer, but it was just so much unneeded space that I was just like, you know what, cut, and it ended up being short. So you know what, honestly, I mean, as long as I made the points, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the shorter the better, I think. Like I've been trying to make all my videos even shorter. Like I think with the last video, I decided to cut out the intro, like the complete intro, just to see if it was gonna perform better. It didn't, but like I'm gonna keep experimenting that way because I think like it takes around 30 seconds on average in my videos to get straight into the topic, and I want to kind of like condense that down to probably like 5 seconds.
Oh shoot!
Like I really want to work on my retention, especially since I'm gonna be I've made the decision now. I'm gonna go to and start the new channel. I really want to do that right, and I don't want to like waste people's time in the video. Being like, hey, my name is this. I'm doing this. Subscribe. Like I've been trying to do.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I should do the same. Just because. I don't know. I feel like I'm still at a low subscriber count, and I haven't been growing in such a long time. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think we should do with our
I think like because I'm having the same problem. Like I've been stuck at 5,000 for like 3 years almost, and it's like and it's nothing's working. Like I've tried to change up the titles. I mean, I haven't tried to be very consistent. Like, that's something that might actually work. Yeah. Maybe if I were a bit more consistent, then I'd start getting more views. Because, like, when I did post, like, regularly once a week when I got home from my mission, I started to get a pretty decent amount of views. But then as I, like, started slipping up and posting every other week or, like, every 3 weeks or even once a month, that has kind of hurt the whole algorithm thing. Yeah, and I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna start a new channel, see how it goes. If after like a month or two, I'm still stuck at like I don't know 10 or 20 subscribers. If I don't hit 100 within the first month, I think I'm gonna just go back to the other channel.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, that'll be cool.
It's gonna be interesting, but yeah, it's been an interesting past week. In terms of like in the tech space.
It definitely has.
We've gotten a lot of different. Like some leaks, saying that something's gonna happen, something's not gonna happen, something's gonna happen, something's not gonna happen, stuff like that. And also we all all these new devices, which is really cool. I'm really not really excited for any of the devices, to be honest. Apart from the iPad Air, I might get the iPad Air at some point. We'll
I
see.
gotta tell you, have you watched Nikias? You haven't watched any videos, right? You have the first one you have to
Oh, the
watch is
iPad Air?
Nikias Molina. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw his iPhone SE one. My days, that iPhone
dude,
SE video was the best. That's like
that
literally probably
was
one of the best
oh
production
man,
quality reviews I've ever seen.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was so good. Like Nikias, if you're listening or watching to this, like props to you, man. That video was sick. You and
dude.
your team are doing great
Seriously,
things.
seriously, we gotta
It's
get him.
really
We gotta get him on this podcast sometime,
yeah.
bro.
I've messaged him like once or twice asking him about it, but he's not he's not responded. I need to try Twitter, see if he responds on
Yeah.
Twitter because I've been iMessaging him.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Do you have WhatsApp? Because the last time I got in contact with him
Yeah,
was through WhatsApp.
I should probably try. Yeah, I should probably try to WhatsApp him. We'll see.
So speaking about new products and stuff, rumor has it that you're gonna be getting a new product. Want to talk about that a little bit
Yeah,
and
so
why you're doing this?
so basically, long story short, my computer. I currently have a 2016 MacBook Pro. It's been amazing for the like 3 years I've had it. I think almost 3 years. Of course, I didn't use it for 2 years, but it was still being used by my family, and it's been great to me. It's been a great computer. I've loved it. I've made so many memories with it, but there comes a point where computers start to be slow down for like the type of workflow you do. Maybe you upgrade your camera, which I have done, things like that, and then your computer can't really handle things too well. In fact, if you could probably hear it in the audio, like there's a fan running in the background, and that's the computer. The fans run on like 100% all the time. I don't know why. This thing gets so
Damn,
hot. And also it's an
damn.
Intel machine, so like of course it keeps my room nice and warm. But I decided, that it's probably time up for an upgrade. I've been looking at like different computers for the past couple of months. Like as soon as the MacBook Pro came out, the M1 and M1, the M1 Pro and M1 Max, I was like, I need this. Like this is so good. And I've considered getting that one. And then I was actually going to buy an iMac. I was planning on getting the M1 iMac, but
Ooh,
then as I was browsing around, because like I just love the look of the iMac. I love everything about it, apart from the
yeah,
fact that maybe it didn't have the M1 Pro or the M1 Max, and also that was, I mean, it was like £2,000 here in the UK. The model that I was going
right.
for, which is like a maxed out with 16 gigs of unified memory. I keep saying RAM, but it's unified memory. They're kind of different. And it also had like 1 TB of storage. But then as I was browsing around, I found a MacBook Pro on Amazon for like the same price. I think
Ooh.
it's either brand new or it says it's used like new, and it still comes in its original packaging, but the packaging is slightly damaged. So I don't exactly know what that means. It's probably brand new. Who knows? And it was the exact same. It was like 1 TB. It was the maxed out M1 Pro variant, and it cost the
Damn.
exact same as, or actually less, I think, than it would have cost if I got the iMac. So I decided to, make the
Try it
investment
out.
and yeah, make the investment and get the ball rolling. Because honestly, like this computer that I'm using right now, although it's great, it's slowing down my workflow a lot. Like export
Oh,
times
I'm
take
sure.
forever. Editing 4K at 60 footage is like when I'm recording B-roll, I record in 60 frames a second. It's just a nightmare. So, and
Ouch.
also I've only got like a quarter of a terabyte, which is 256 gigabytes of storage, which always keeps running out. So, yeah,
Oh
there's many
man.
reasons
Yeah.
why I
So
decided I need the upgrade. And I'm really
that's
I'm really hyped for it. It'll probably be here tomorrow, I think. Um, and it's yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait.
so.
I
Are you gonna be doing um a live unboxing? Are you gonna be doing a video? What's your plan,
I
man?
mean, for those who are watching or listening, you already know what happened, but I'm kind of considering doing a live, but also at the same time, I don't really want to set up my room to do a live unboxing. So we'll see. I'll probably do a review of it for sure. Maybe kind of
Gotcha.
like should you buy? Because the reason why well, no, something that I've been trying to research recently is like, is the M1 Pro good for video editing, that kind of stuff, like the exact spec that I'm getting. And like,
Yeah.
there's not been really many videos that talked about that, so I think I might do like a review based on that, on like, is it good for video editing, and photo editing, so that kind of stuff. So
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
exciting. I literally can't wait. It's gonna be great. I also got a monitor to go with it, so then I'm kind of gonna have an iMac experience in a way, but with a MacBook Pro. And I also got myself a trackpad and a keyboard. So
Oh,
it's
that's
great.
awesome.
It's expensive
Yeah.
though. I'm now officially broke. And it's
Bruh, I hear
but
you. I
it's
hear you.
it's an investment, and it's gonna pay for itself for sure. Like, I just need
Oh,
to do a couple
definitely.
different projects, and
Definitely.
it's really, it's gonna save me a lot of time as well. So it's gonna be great.
That's awesome, man. So, we have a lot to talk about on today's podcast. So, what do you want to start first, Benji?
Well, let's keep ourselves organized, Taylor. Let's start from the first one. So universal control is something that I wanted to talk about before we move on to the news stories. I mean, I guess it kind of is a news story in and of itself. So for those who don't
Yep.
know, iOS
Yep.
15.4, 15.14, no, 15.4 was released
50.
this week, as well as I think it's macOS. What macOS version are we on? 12.5 or something? Whatever.
Uh,
Apple just
3?
released a bunch of new updates. 12.3. Okay.
Yeah.
Apple released a bunch of new updates this week for the Apple Watch, the iPhone, the iPad, Macs, all that stuff. Probably even HomePod and Apple TV. I don't know. Um, so yeah, so they released all these new updates. They
Yep.
are pretty good. I don't know. Have you've installed all the updates on your devices? Have you?
Oh, bro, you know me. Listen. As soon as those come out, I'm all over it. Um,
Yeah. How's the
one.
experience been for you? Like, have you been having any bugs or glitches or anything?
No, for the most part, I think everything's running pretty good. Um, I mean, there was like how you can share apps to people. I was trying to share
Yeah.
an app to one of my friends that was curious about what app I do my thumbnails on, and that took a couple of minutes, like a couple of seconds to pop up. Like I would click the share app thing, and it would take a couple of minutes to get to the screen where I click on the person that I want to send it to. So,
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it's been pretty smooth for me. I think a lot of people were saying on Twitter that this was the most smoothest one out of um, like iOS 15. They were saying a lot of people were comparing it to like iOS 12. That was really smooth. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know how smooth that is, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I remember iOS 12. I think iOS 12 was probably my favorite iOS update because it
Yeah,
didn't bring
yeah.
like
I think
any
it,
game-changing features, but it was the most stable update. I was even on the beta, and it was surprisingly stable. I loved it.
dude.
Uh,
That
and
that
then
was
I and then I left on my mission, and then I came back, and then iOS 15 was a mess. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
like, even
Um,
now, even I think 15.4, like, a lot of people have been having great experiences with it, but I've
that
encountered quite a few bugs, especially on my iPad. It's not been the greatest experience, to be honest. I think on my Mac, the new update's been working well, but yeah, the iPad's just been a bit glitchy, and the iPhone as well, every now and then.
yeah. I haven't really. I mean, I haven't really used my iPad that much, but I haven't really experienced that much with the iPhone. So I don't know. I guess I'll
I guess
have
it
to
also,
see. And
yeah, I guess it also depends on like the device and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
it's probably because the iPad I have is a bit older, and so maybe they're not too um like focused on making sure it runs smoothly, because they're like, oh, we want you to buy a new
Right,
iPad
right.
actually, but we're not gonna tell you that.
Yeah,
So you know,
exactly. Right.
but yeah, I mean, other than that, the features that it brings, like Face ID with a mask, I don't care, because like here in England, there's no more mask mandate at all, so like
That's what
it
my
doesn't
friend
really
was
matter for
saying.
me.
My friend was like, "This had to come out after I bought the Apple Watch. What the heck?" I'm just like, bruh,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know
It's like,
I don't know what took so long, but at least it's
yeah.
here, and for the people that don't have the Apple Watch, you can finally unlock your phone. So
Yeah, for sure. Like I think it's a great feature for those who still need to wear masks in your country or whatever. I know there's a few more places in Europe that still have a mask mandate, but for
yeah,
people here
yeah.
in the UK or even parts of the US now, that's not a thing anymore. So it's a thing of the past. Um, but I guess it's there if you need to. Maybe you're going skiing, and I think even if you're skiing, it might work. I don't know. But it's cool. It works. And also another really big feature is universal control, which I have been using so much the past 2 days. It is so cool. Like,
Bruh,
like
I
right
I
now,
have to try it out.
it's
You've been
buggy.
asking me about it, and I'm just like, no, I haven't. I haven't had time.
Yeah, like
It's
the only
just
problem
been
is it's. I mean, it's still a beta, of course. Like they still say it's a beta, so it's
right.
a little bit laggy, a little bit glitchy at times, and sometimes it doesn't fully work. But it is literally so cool. It's like magic. Like I'm just using my
That's
computer right
awesome.
now as we're speaking, and then I just move my mouse, my cursor, and it goes to the iPad, and I could just use the iPad. I can use the gestures on my trackpad on the iPad and everything. It is literally so. It's like the coolest thing I've ever experienced, probably on iOS. Like
Dude, that's great.
this would be a huge reason why you need to buy the iPad, or like seriously, it's so good.
Are
It's
you gonna be making a video on this or?
so I'm gonna include it in my like 10 reasons or like 11 reasons. I can't remember how many reasons I have now to buy an iPad video. I'm gonna be
Oh,
including
okay.
universal control as one of them, and I'm gonna basically explain what it is and show it in a demo. I might even do a YouTube short or an Instagram reel on it. We'll
Oh,
see.
awesome. Awesome.
But yeah, universal control is epic. You have to try it, Taylor. It's
Yeah,
honestly
I
like
have to. Maybe
it's
tonight,
so good.
actually. I'm going to be live tonight, so maybe tonight.
Yeah, and it's so useful to use right now because I don't have to reach and touch the screen on my iPad or have my external keyboard out. I just like move the mouse and I can scroll through our notes and
Mm,
it's perfect. It's
that's
actually
awesome.
a bit laggy right now, but anyway.
uh, Complications as you're talking about it. I gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Happens to me all
Yeah.
the time. So,
Anyway,
so next up, we wanted to talk about Apple made 6.5 billion by no longer providing chargers in the box. Bruh,
that's a lot
bruh,
of money.
damn.
Like,
Um, what else are they
let me
gonna get
see.
rid of?
Let me see. Let me quickly see. Yeah, I mean, because I'm sure. Because even if you go and see the sales for AirPods, those are through the roof as well. Like they became the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
selling earbuds in the world. Um, but let me see. Let me quickly check. If I do a, oh boy, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to calculate here. So for they did 6 billion, 6.5 billion. Um, that means there's like 21 million units sold. I don't know what that is. Anyway, they sold a lot of chargers. Let's just say that. I mean, $6.5 billion just on chargers from Apple. I didn't give them that money, so I don't know where, where that money came from. Because
Me either. Me either.
I've got one from I think Anchor or something. No, you yeah, I've got one from Anchor and one from Ugreen or Spigen and Ugreen. Yeah, I didn't even pay for one of those. Um, so
I don't
so yeah,
even like.
it's
I don't even use the chargers in the box anymore. Honestly, like.
yeah. I mean, I'm using the lightning cables that come in the box.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And actually
That's
today
the
I
only thing
received
I
another
use.
lightning cable. I received another lightning cable with my trackpad, and I'm just gonna keep it in the
Oh,
box because I don't need an extra one.
yeah. I mean, hey, if you got it, then just save it, and you never know when you're gonna
Yeah,
need one.
exactly. Because
So
because sometimes yeah, because sometimes you get cables that break, so it's
yeah,
always good to have
exactly.
extras.
I,
And
I I
actually,
gotta tell you, lightning
I don't know.
cables and chargers, like, save them up because honestly, you never know when you're gonna need it.
That's true. Especially even when you want to resell your device and you want to maybe resell it
Yeah,
with a box, which I don't do, but I usually give the charger if I'm selling the product and stuff.
right.
Um, but yeah. Um, so yeah, that's Crazy. $6.5 billion just on chargers.
Damn. Wow.
You can just imagine like Apple's team were like, "Oh, how can we make more money? Let's remove the charger from the box." That's a
Right.
fantastic idea. Let's just
Oh,
sell it to
man.
them instead. Because I mean,
Bro.
think of like a first-time iPhone user or something, or somebody who doesn't have the charger, or even people who already have the charger but they want another charger. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna buy Apples because I mean they're there at the Apple store. They might as well spend the $35 or however much it costs to get the charger. I think that's
Right.
what my dad did, even though he could have just gone on Amazon and got one for $10 instead. Anyway, I think we can move on from that.
Definitely.
So we've got now this next news story is a bit interesting because earlier on this week we got an exclusive from 9 to 5 Mac saying, "Oh, the iMac Pro with Apple Silicon has been canceled." Everyone was like freaking out. They're like, "What? This is so confusing." Because Ming-Chi Kuo a couple days before said that the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro will be coming in 2023. So
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Ming-Chi Kuo, he's reliable. It must be true."
And now he has a Twitter.
Mac
by the
Rumors comes
way.
out. Yeah, exactly. That's really good. And then 9 to 5 Mac come out and say no. And then now Gurman decided to make things even more confusing. I came in and said, yes, it's still happening. Apple's still planning on it.
Bruh,
So
what is going on? Like,
personally, I believe Gurman and Quo more than 9 to 5 Mac's secret source.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So I mean, I think the iMac Pro needs to happen because I think there's also been a lot of people. I can't remember what video I was watching, but I was watching a video yesterday of and somebody like showed the clip from the Apple event where the guy on stage was like, "Now we have one more Mac to convert to Apple Silicon, and that's the Mac Pro." And everybody
Yeah,
was like, "Oh
yeah, I
wait,
was gonna
does
say
that mean
that.
does that mean no iMac Pro?" But then if you think about it, Apple's already updated the iMac with Apple Silicon.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
I mean, all they're doing is they're taking that iMac, they're making it bigger and throwing an M1 Pro and M1 Max chip in there. That's all they're really doing with it. So I think it's still happening. I think it makes sense in the lineup having an all-in-one experience. But also at the same time, I kind of see why they wouldn't do it because I mean they've got the Pro display, they've got the thing. Because also, if they do release this iMac Pro, it's probably gonna start at like $5,000. That's my guess. Because I mean, you're getting the monitor, which will
Yep.
probably be a 5K display, just like the new Studio display, with like
Right.
center stage and all of that, the speakers. Plus, you've got the computer, which is basically a Mac Studio, but like built into the iMac kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's still happening.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely should. Um. So moving on a little bit, Apple already working on more powerful M2 chip with 24 core CPU.
I mean, this is insane because Apple's just like basically blown
Dude, like,
Intel into the grave,
yeah,
10 feet
yeah,
under, and
bruh.
like I don't know how Intel's gonna recover. Like I watched Front Page Tech yesterday, and he talked about John was talking about
Dude, I've never clicked
how
on a video so fast.
he was
I'm
talking
gonna
about
tell you that right now.
how Apple's doomed, but in reality they're not. It's like Intel is starting to work on chips to compete the with the M1 lineup, and they'll be
Yep,
ready in
yep.
2 years' time. It's like, why are you making a chip that's slightly more powerful than the M1, which was released in 2020, and then releasing it in like 2024?
Right,
Like
yeah.
seriously, it's Intel has a long way to go because Apple is
Yeah, they
literally
do.
just
Yeah.
destroying the competition in terms of their own silicon, and like their computers are just beasts now. Like I'm so hyped to try and to use the M1 Pro MacBook Pro that I got just because it's got Apple Silicon and I've heard great things about it, like the efficiency, the battery life,
Bruh.
the fans not coming up all the time, which will be so nice. Even though I wear headphones with noise
I'm,
canceling most of the day, I can barely hear the fans. But when I'm recording a video and stuff, sometimes I have to. I have this app that I downloaded on my computer to like turn the fans down so that it doesn't make that much noise. I have to constantly do that, and that damages the computer because it gets hotter and stuff. Like I have to
right,
do that every
yeah.
now and then when I record videos because it's just so loud. But Apple Silicon is here to change all of that. Intel is
Yeah.
dying, and there's nothing you can
My
do about it,
computer's
people.
already dead. Seriously, bro. Man, listen,
I
I
mean,
got, yeah, I got the Intel computer here, the MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020, bruh. That, and I really, and my mom was even saying, maybe wait a little longer. That way we know that we have enough money to get it. And bruh, I couldn't last without a computer, especially because I was already doing, at the time I was doing the Saturday morning sit down. And bruh, like doing that from the iPad would have been horrible. Um, so I'm like, you know what? I have to get it. And then, like, what, a month or two later, we hear about the new computers, new chips, and all this. And I'm just like, I could have waited. I could have waited.
if you
But
only
hey,
waited a
it
month, it would have been
happens.
it all would have been good. Yeah, but I mean, I think the computer you have now. I mean, if it works, it'll probably last you another couple of years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like
For sure.
mine's lasted a while. Like this has been through so many people, different people. Like it's had I think
This,
two owners before me. One of them was a YouTuber as well, so he threw
yeah,
a lot of stuff at it. Um,
this is definitely
so
not
yeah.
coming from an Apple fanboy, but this is definitely better than Windows computer.
Oh yeah, like for sure.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Especially when it comes to productivity. Like gaming, okay, fine, buy a PC, but if you want to do anything
Yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Windows and
yeah.
PCs are just like
Bro,
it ain't cheap. Especially now
I
with Apple
tried.
Silicon, like
Yeah,
no chance.
listen, I tried to edit with my Windows computer, and that was horrible. That was horrible. I was just like, yeah, I can't do this. Especially because I was trying to do it on Windows Movie Maker,
Oh.
and yeah, let's not go
Yeah, I mean
there.
I
Let's
remember
not go
like
there.
I remember while I was on my mission, like there were times where I'd be in a certain area and like the
Yep,
church building there didn't have a good computer, and it was
yep.
just terrible when they were bad. But even when they were pretty good, like it was still laggy and things like that. And I was using DaVinci Resolve as well, and I was throwing like I think even 4K footage in there every now and
Damn,
then. And it handled
damn.
it okay, but it didn't handle it as well as my MacBook does. My
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I'm sure with the M1 Max is just gonna trump everything I've ever used in the past. It's like
Yeah,
it's not even gonna be funny. But
bruh.
yeah, M1 if they're already working on the M2 Ultra with a 24 core CPU, that thing is gonna be insane. And like I can only imagine the chip that they're gonna put in the Mac Pro, like that thing. It's gonna bring a whole building down. Like seriously,
Yeah,
that
it
thing's
is.
gonna be insane.
Yeah, it
It's gonna be
is.
crazy. I can't wait to see also like the reviews for the Mac Studio and see like because as of recording this
Dude,
this
that's
podcast, those videos haven't come out yet, but probably by the time it's posted, there would have been. Like I'm really interested to see like the
when is that coming out?
real world performance. So I mean, I think the embargo lifts tomorrow for that because I think we had
Oh,
the
okay.
iPhones first,
Yep.
and then
And then the
there was
iPads
the iPads.
today,
So probably tomorrow might be the Mac Studio.
bruh.
That's probably when the
Oh,
embargo
the next
lifts.
few days, the next day or two is gonna be really busy for me because I'm gonna be binge watching all those videos. I've
Yeah.
been I watched the green iPhone videos last night. Um, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I think that uh, the for me, I mean, obviously, the 12 Pro is like the most beautiful one. I don't know. I don't really care for the regular 12 shade of green. I
13.
don't know about you, but
You keep saying 12.
ah,
13.
13, 13. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
Why do
So
I keep saying 12? Bruh.
you've been doing this almost every episode at this point. But anyway,
Yeah, I have. I really have.
I think
Oh,
I think the
bruh.
green is pretty good. Like personally, I don't think I would own
Yeah.
a green phone just because like I
Yeah.
prefer blue or like even silver
Dude,
or
yeah.
space gray.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually trying to convert myself to silver now because I've had space gray for a while, and then now I've got kind of a mix of space gray. I've got a gold iPad, and then I've got a blue phone. It's kind of like
Yeah.
so I decided
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
So I've decided to go a bit silver for a while. I'm gonna go silver for probably a couple of years, and then I'll switch back to space gray when they actually have space gray and it's not midnight like this thing. It's basically dark blue.
Bruh.
Blah. Like no thanks.
Oh
That's
my
that's one of
God.
the things I should have included that in
Yeah.
the 7 reasons why not to buy the iPhone SE. I should have added reason number 8, which is the colors, where like you can't midnight and starlight are not black and white. Like it's dark blue
No.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yellow silver.
Yellow.
It's not nice. It's like
Yeah.
a silver
No, I know.
iPhone that a dog's peed on. There you go. Um, that is starlight for you, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. So, Apple. Wait, are we on this one? Yeah, Apple's
Yeah.
selling Apple started selling refurbished iPhone 12 and 12 Pros. What are your thoughts on this? You have an iPhone 12 Pro.
Yeah.
This time you can
Yeah.
say 12. Please don't say 11.
Listen, man. You know what? It probably would have happened. I honestly think that it's good that they're doing that. I mean, would people get a refurbished iPhone 12 or 12 Pro? I don't know. I think at this point, people will just probably go for the 13. But um, at the same time, I think that people will probably look at those because of the cheaper price. So
Yeah.
I think that, for that case, cool, but I don't know.
Especially the price that they're coming in. I still think
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a bit too high because you could get a lot better deals if you want to go on like the used market. Like yes, it's not going to be
Yeah,
refurbished, you're not going to get warranty, but it's
yeah,
going to be a lot
exactly.
cheaper. Like for example, the cheapest iPhone 12 Pro you can buy here in the UK is £800 from Apple refurbished, which is around like I think 150 no $850 in the US. Um, which is a bit expensive considering this phone originally cost um like 1,000. Yeah. I mean actually this was 256 gigabytes. So I mean if you want to get a higher storage option, it might be worth it. Um but honestly it's I would rather go for a proper used um phone instead of the other thing, the
Oh
refurbished.
yeah,
Or
for
even
sure.
Amazon.
I'm looking
Amazon
at.
even sells their own refurbished stuff, like Amazon Renewed. Those I heard are really good as well. So I mean, probably looking at some other
How,
refurbished places that maybe give you warranty, I think is a better idea if you want to get an iPhone 12 or 12 Pro. And honestly, the 12 and the 12 Pro, like those two lineups are still really good today. Like if you're looking for an iPhone and you don't want to
oh
get the
yeah,
brand new
dude.
13, the 12s are great, and Taylor can attest to this because he's got a 12 Pro, so you know.
Yeah,
And my dad
yeah.
has a 12 Pro as well. They're still fantastic phones. The Pacific Blue, I think, is the best, one of the best iPhone colors of all time. Um,
I'm
yeah,
actually looking at them right now, and how much did you say that you can get it in the UK?
it's like around 850, I think, for 256 gigs.
Gotcha. So I'm trying to look for mine, which is this one right here. So the 12 Pro 128 gigabytes graphite unlocked is about 800 right now. Um,
And you've got the base
and
model, right? The 128 gigs.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's only like
So
$100, 150 off or something.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
140.
So it's Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's worth it because you could probably get one used for like
Oh yeah,
$400 less than the original price. Like, yes, they've maintained their value quite well, like all iPhones do, but
right.
still,
Yeah, yeah, for
they would
sure.
maintain their value more if Apple raised the price every year. But they haven't been doing that for years, and hopefully they don't start doing that. Because I
Yeah.
mean, with inflation and everything that's happening now, I would not be surprised if the next iPhones are going to be bumped up by $100.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
But I
Uh,
think I like the at least with the 13 Pro, the price point starting at 999. I think that's kind of like a good number because it's not quite a
yeah.
thousand, but it's
Yeah.
also not quite 900. It's kind of like that sweet spot. Kind of tricks
Right.
people into thinking, oh no, it's 900, but no, it's actually 1,000. You just add $1 to it. But
Yeah.
so psychologically, it makes you buy it
Oh
more than
yeah.
if it were just
Yeah.
1,000.
Definitely.
But yeah,
So
um,
moving
yeah.
on, let's talk about the the iPhone 14. iPhone 14 may feature rumored satellite connectivity, but no more mini model. I know you're crying inside right now as I'm reading this, Benji. Cause
Why do they have to get rid of the mini? Like seriously, that's the best iPhone.
yeah, bruh.
If Apple made if Apple made a Pro Mini phone, I would definitely just use that.
Yeah, yeah. I would too, honestly. Um, I mean, I love the
I would
size of mine,
like the
but
size of the Mini is perfect. I think.
yeah,
Like the only
yeah,
thing I don't like is the keyboard. The keyboard's a bit small, but other than that, it's just a great phone to hold, a great phone to use. I I mean, battery life may not be amazing, but it's good
right.
enough for me. I this thing rarely drops under like 20%, so because I've always
Seriously.
got it. I've constantly got it charged. That's why.
Oh,
Which
okay,
probably
okay.
isn't which probably isn't
I was
good for
gonna
the
say,
probably
bro.
isn't good for the battery. But you know, like every time I'm at my desk, I've put a wireless charger here, and my phone's always on
Yeah,
there.
bro. So I
And
have
then
the
when I'm driving in the
Anchor.
car, it's charging, and then when I'm going to sleep, it's charging. So
Yeah, dude. Like I have the one of the Anchor chargers, which I keep saying that I'm gonna do a video on, and I still haven't. But I'll probably make a short about it one of these days. Um, and I just slap my 12 Pro on the charger every single night. And honestly, like I usually I usually charge it probably once a day, like every night, go to bed, and then it doesn't really um go past like 30-40%. So,
yeah.
and I haven't even I know this is not really important, but like I haven't really even checked the battery health. But I mean, hey, it's been lasting me, so you know,
Mine's still 100%, even though I've been
yeah.
charging it so much.
I'm afraid to check mine. I know it's well, I know it's well under 100 by now,
Yeah,
but
probably be around 95, I think, right
yeah, I
now.
think so. I think that's what I
I
saw
think I think
last
my
time.
dad's I think my dad's 12 Pro is still at 100%, even though
Right, right.
he's almost had it a year, and he's been charging
Wow.
it with Max, or I think it was around 100, or maybe it was like 98 or something.
Wow.
But it's not been depleted that much, which is pretty good. I think
That's awesome.
Apple's been killing it with like the battery optimization over the
Oh
years.
yeah. I
Um,
can't wait to see what the battery is going to be like on the 14 models.
yeah,
Um
hopefully it's gonna be as good if not better, because like now they've
yeah.
set the bar very very high for the
Yeah.
13 Pro Max and the 13 Pro.
Yep.
It would
Yep.
suck if they like undercut that for the next model, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially since especially since this other
I
feature that they're probably going to be introducing, which was rumored to come with the 13, but didn't end up happening, with
mhm.
the rumored satellite connectivity.
Yep.
Like that that would be absolutely game changing. Like if the iPhone receives support to be able to connect to satellites, like just imagine they make a deal with Tesla and then they're like, no, not Tesla, Starlink. They make a deal with Starlink and they're like, yo, we want to use your satellites we'll like create our own. Just imagine Apple creates their own carrier that's connected to Starlink,
Oh,
and then literally anywhere you
that'd be
are, you
sick.
get like you get 5G everywhere, and there's no issues, or like you get Wi-Fi everywhere. You can send
Hmm.
text messages. It would be absolutely insane. Like you're on the top of a mountain where sometimes you don't even get any reception, and
Right,
you have this satellite connectivity, and it's just always connected. Like that'd be
dude. That
insane. And
yeah,
I
that
thought
would.
they actually implemented this. I thought the technology was already in the iPhone 13, but they didn't activate it. At least that was
Yeah,
what I think Ming Chi Kuo said was gonna happen. But I
yeah,
haven't heard
yeah,
of any of that being true. So, but what do you
yeah.
think about satellite connectivity? Do you think that would be pretty cool to have on an iPhone?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, I just hope that it's good enough. Like it doesn't uh make us freaking go crazy with connectivity. Like how
Yeah,
some
no, I think
places, like for me, with the carrier I have now, it's just like my connection is very spotty. So I really hope that with this, it gets better.
yeah,
um,
and it will because I think the coverage is gonna be a lot better with if we do switch to like satellite connectivity, and also
bruh, my
you've got
like,
I guess there's gonna be less. I don't know if maybe there's gonna be less pollution because they're just throwing satellites into space, and so there'll be a lot of space
yeah,
pollution.
yeah,
But I mean, on Earth, well, I mean, it's still on Earth, but on the ground, you've got all these cell towers everywhere that like are hazards, I guess, even for airplanes and stuff like that. Putting them all in
hmm.
satellites is so much better because you could also get more coverage without taking up much space. Um,
Right, right.
but yeah, that's good. That's gonna be sick. I really hope this comes to the next iPhone.
Bro,
Um,
we already know who's gonna be trying that first. Tay Wilson.
oh yeah, he's probably gonna. Yeah, I wonder how it's still gonna work if they're maybe just going to be implementing the technology into the iPhones, or if they're actually going to be launching their own kind of service. Maybe they'll start sending satellites up to space somehow. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe we've heard that they're working on the Apple car, but in reality they're taking all these car engineers and they're
bruh.
building satellites and rockets.
Yeah,
Could you imagine, like in the middle of Apple Park,
dude.
they just have like these satellites going up, or Apple Park itself lifts off the ground and flies
Oh
into the sky.
God,
That's kind of like, have you? It's kind of
Apple
like
Park, the spaceship.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's kind of like the I can't remember what they're called, but in like the Avengers where they have those like aircraft carriers that are in the sky.
Yeah,
That kind of thing. That's what I imagine if Apple Park were to fly. That'd be sick, honestly, though. Um,
that would be. I gotta
but I
tell
think
you.
we're getting a bit carried away from the from this subject we were talking about. But yeah, satellite connectivity. It's gonna be sick. No more mini model. Kind of sad. Um, so there's gonna
I
be the iPhone.
mean,
We're gonna have the iPhone 14 and the 14 Max, the iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. So
I'm still
at
kind
least battery
of
life's not gonna be a problem.
true, true. I'm still kind of upset that like they're talking about one model being one design, the other being another. I think they should
Yeah,
just do it, especially because they're already talking about the next generation being all the same. Why don't you just make it the same on this model? Like, what's the problem with that? I don't know if it's just
exactly.
like they they're running out of parts or what is it like? You
Yeah,
know?
because also I guess I'm quickly skipping one of the topics we have to talk about here, and we'll go back to that in a second. But also another thing that's going to be different with these new models is the fact that the only the 14 Pro models will be getting the A16 chip, but then
Right, and
the
that was another
standard
thing.
regular models are going to get the A15, which honestly, like I think it makes sense because right now, like the iPhone 13 lineup. I
Yep.
guess the 13 Pros have some features that the 13 and the 13 Mini don't have. Like they have better
Yeah,
battery
yeah.
life, they have more cameras, they have 120 hertz displays. But then you go to like Yeah, they both have like the latest generation of Face ID, the smaller notch, all that.
Hmm.
But I think what they're trying to do with the next generation iPhones is they're trying to diversify the lineup a little bit more. Because as of right now, they're
Yeah.
very, very similar. And like if somebody buys an iPhone 13, they're like, or like when somebody gets the choice to pick between a 13 or a 13 Pro, they're like, I'm gonna go with the 13 because maybe they like the colors or something. They don't really care
Hmm.
about having that third telephoto lens. They don't really care about having 120 hertz and having a higher quality display. So I think this is really gonna diversify the lineup, and it might even make the base model iPhones cheaper. I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, might make it like $50 cheaper each. So like the 13 mini, no, well, we won't even have the 14 mini, but like the 14,
No.
instead of starting at, I think it's like 799 now, it might
Hmm.
start at 699, like, or even 649. I think would be really good.
Yep.
Just to bring those costs down, because also another thing that people were talking about was the chip shortage, because there's a chip shortage. But here's what I think is gonna happen. Like they're gonna go ahead and do this, but they're going to probably rebrand the A15, just like they did with the Apple Watch Series 7, where they rebranded the S6 chip to the S7,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
literally the
Yeah.
same chip. So I think that's what they're gonna do, and they're probably gonna call it the A16 and the A16 Pro.
Hmm.
And the A16 Pro is basically gonna be the new one, but the A16 is just gonna be a repurposed A15.
Yeah.
Just I think just to cope with the chip shortage, and also to add a little bit more diversity to the lineup, add a few more exclusives to the pros, just so people
Definitely.
go want to buy the pros more than the regular model.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just rambled on for way too long there. But what are your thoughts, Taylor? What do you think about this? All of this? What do you think Apple should do?
Man, I mean, I think you said it all. To be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I.
it's I'm still excited for this lineup, regardless. Like if
Yeah,
I
for
do
sure.
upgrade, I'm definitely gonna go with a Pro, just
Hmm.
because like higher refresh rate display, that kind of stuff. Especially now since I've just ordered a MacBook Pro that's gonna have 120 hertz.
Bruh.
It's gonna be interesting
Bruh.
to see, because it's the first device that'll own that has 120 hertz display, and I'm sure that I'm
What do
gonna
you?
start using that, and
Hmm.
I'll want that on my iPhone.
Yeah. What are you doing with the computer you have now? Are you selling it or?
No, I think I'm gonna give it to my mom because she needs a computer for some courses and so she's doing, or my younger brother. So we'll see. It's still gonna be used, for sure.
Oh,
It's
nice.
still gonna be around. So, um, yeah, because I mean I got
Awesome.
it. So somebody gave it to me for free, so I'm not gonna go sell it because that I think would kind of
Ooh,
be
damn.
not too nice. So I'm just gonna give it to someone who can really use it just and love it as much as I did. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
because yeah,
For
because
sure.
it's run my channel and it's run my business for the past couple months and years,
That's
so
probably
it's great.
honestly that's probably what I'm gonna do once I get a new computer is just like keep it around this one around. Um, because
Yeah,
it's always good to have a backup anyway. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
if
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
because you never know. Like maybe your computer breaks, you need to get it repaired, or just it just breaks in general. You can't afford to buy a new one. Yeah, just
Right.
having an extra there is definitely great. Because also I was originally planning, as I said before, to get the iMac, and so if I got the
Yeah.
iMac, I would have kept both of them and kept using both of them.
Yeah, that
But
would be
since I'm
sick.
getting a MacBook Pro, it's basically gonna be my iMac and my MacBook.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Um, I was honestly, I'm just gonna say this. I was honestly thinking of getting the new Mac, um,
the
someday.
Mac
I mean,
Studio.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, it's tempting, but at the same time, I- my setup now, like, I wouldn't be able to fit it in here anyway.
Yeah,
And
I
plus,
was.
I always kept saying like I kind of prefer having a laptop because you can just take it on the go, or even if I wanted to work, let's say in the living room upstairs or whatever, I could just take my computer and do it like that. With
Exactly.
with the desktop, you can't really do that. Um,
Nah.
so
Yeah. I
that
mean, you
that
could,
that's
but it's a bit hard.
yeah, exactly,
especially,
exactly.
especially if it's like the Mac Studio where you have the Mac Studio and then you've also got the display that you need to carry, the keyboard, the mouse, and everything. But if you have the iMac, you just carry the iMac upstairs, maybe like the keyboard or the mouse or whatever.
Right,
It's a bit
right,
easier. But
exactly.
still, yeah, I completely agree. Like I mean, if you get a MacBook Pro, you can technically use it as kind of a Mac Mini kind of thing, where you just plug it into a monitor, have a mouse and keyboard or trackpad there, and you're good.
Right,
Um,
right.
but
So,
I think
um,
what were we even talking about? I think we were talking about iPhone
we
14.
just rambled.
Um, yeah, about the
Oh
whole
man.
chip stuff. Honestly, I
Yep.
don't mind about of them diversifying the lineup like that.
Oh
It'll
no.
just make if it makes things cheaper, or if it keeps things the same price but with more features, I'm down. And all
Yeah,
even
for
I think
sure.
even the differences in design will make more people want to buy the pros. Because I think that's what Apple's probably struggling with right now. Like they're releasing all these
Oh
iPhones. They've got
yeah.
like 5 iPhones that they release almost every year, four to five, and like diversifying the lineup a little bit more is good because then it gives people more options, I guess.
Yep.
It gives them the opportunity um, to sell the pros a lot more. Because I think right now, like I think one of the best selling iPhones of 2021, I think we talked about it last week, was like
Hmm.
the iPhone 13, or the standard 13 or the 12. Like you didn't really see many pros in the top 10.
Yeah.
Um, it
Yeah.
still was a really good selling phone. They still were really good selling phones, but they weren't as good selling as well selling. I don't know how to say it, as best selling as
Right.
the regular the pros. Sorry. So
Right. Right.
yeah. Moving on. You wanted to talk about the 5 products that haven't been updated in 2 years.
Yep. So
Um.
go
Yeah, I
ahead.
have not read this article yet.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, so one of they were talking about, and this was kind of the reason that I wanted to bring this up, is because there was a lot of people talking about the iPod Touch on Twitter, and how it's like, um some people are saying it's going to be updated, some people don't want it to be updated. I honestly, I'm I don't know. I'm kind of on the side of like just drop it right now. I don't know about you, Benji, but like I honestly
Yeah.
think that right now, like if people want to give like their kid or whatever a device, honestly, a lot of people nowadays, especially like Android, they're just giving people their old phones, like just give them their old phone. Why do kids need an iPod nowadays? iPhones can do all the music stuff, everything. So, what's the purpose of iPod now? You know, I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
it's nostalgia and whatnot, but like nobody uses an iPod anymore. I'm sorry.
no. Yeah, I completely agree.
you
I
know?
completely agree with that. And I'm actually kind of surprised that they're still selling it. Like the
Yeah,
last time they
dude.
released an iPod Touch was in 2019, which means in a couple of years they'll even stop getting software updates. Um, so I think it makes sense that they just discontinued it altogether. Like it's one of the last devices that Apple sells that has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack as well, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly,
Right.
I think back in the day having an iPod Touch was so cool because like iPhones were maybe expensive, and then you also had the problem where to activate an iPhone you needed a SIM card. But now that's no
Yep.
longer an issue. So
Right.
like if you want to buy your child a device, or like as you said, give them like a lot of parents nowadays are giving their children their old phones. That's what happened to me as I was growing up. Like I got the
Dude, me
first iPhone
too.
I ever got. The first iPhone I ever got was the iPhone 4S, and that was brand new. That was the
I
first
was
iPhone I got. But then the next iPhone I got was the next couple iPhones actually that I got were
Yep.
used. They were used by my dad, my mom, and they just handed it over to me. And then I passed those phones on to my siblings and things like that. So I think that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. Because I mean,
Yep.
a lot of people
Yep.
upgrade. I think probably the average person probably upgrades once every couple of years. So they have that extra phone lying around unless they trade it in. Like I think that's what I'm gonna do in the future. I'm not gonna buy my children a brand new phone. I'm
Oh
just gonna give them
no,
my old one, yeah, for sure. But
dude.
even if you were to get a phone for your child, like even the iPhone SE that just came out, like yes,
Yeah,
I can rant
exactly.
about it all day about how it's not a good phone, but you can even go and get a used iPhone from a couple of years ago, or even a refurbished iPhone. There's no
Right.
reason
Right.
like the iPod Touch is literally an iPhone that's super super thin, which I love personally. But it's
Oh
like an
yeah,
iPhone that's
dude.
super super thin. It doesn't have Touch ID. It's small. It's yes, it comes in nice colors and stuff like that. But honestly, it's not like to today's standards. That kind of isn't. There's not really any point in an iPod anymore. Like if they
Yeah.
brought back, I think what would make more sense is if they brought back something like the iPod Nano,
Yeah.
or the
Yep.
iPod Classic, because people want to buy that for
I'm kind of
nostalgia, or maybe they just want a device that connects to Apple Music that just plays music. They don't
yeah.
want basically an iPhone without a SIM card, which
Yeah.
is essentially what the iPod Touch is trying to be, I guess.
I'm kind of mad because I had an iPod Nano and I gave it to somebody who was a really close friend at one point, but now we're not talking, and I don't even know if he has it, or threw it away or whatever. But I remember I even gave it to him, and I didn't even like clean it up or anything. I just gave it to him. I was just like, hey, you know what? You want it? Here you go, and that's it. And like now that you made me think about it, just like, bruh, I miss that thing. I had one of
Yeah,
the blue ones, dude. That thing was awesome. That thing was
yeah.
awesome.
I
The only
I remember that
thing,
was
dude, the only thing that I hated about it was that I don't know about other people, but like my headphones would disconnect easily, and I would lose that thing in like 2 seconds when I was at the gym and stuff. They would just automatically disconnect, and there was one point that it slid across the floor, and somebody almost stepped on it because they weren't looking, and I'm just like, dude, no. I was
wow.
so mad, but
Yeah, I remember my first
things
Apple
like
device was an iPod Nano as well. I think it was like the fourth gen. It was green. I loved that thing to bits. Like it
yeah,
was literally
me
the
too,
best thing ever
me too.
at that time. I loved playing the games on it. I don't know if the one you had kind of like there's a game that I played called Vortex. Like you basically
I don't
just like it
remember.
was like a little ball that you just hit bricks with. It was so cool. But honestly, like it was just an amazing device. And then
Yeah,
when I started doing YouTube videos, I started a tech channel with a friend of mine. I would have said, "Oh, it'd be
I
so
think.
funny if we just destroyed some devices," and so we destroyed the iPod. And I really regret it now because I
Oh
loved
yeah,
that thing, and then I wasn't even using it back then, and I didn't really realize that I would want to use it still like today. I mean, I probably wouldn't use it. I'd just keep it as like a souvenir thing.
yeah. I
But
think
also
that
something I
was
didn't like, something I didn't like
good.
about it was how the battery life just didn't last very long on mine. I don't know if maybe it
Mm-hmm.
was my unit that
Mm-hmm.
was faulty, but
How
I
about
got
turning
like
it
maybe a
on and
couple of
off?
hours. Yeah, I think I had maybe a
That
couple
was
hours of battery life. That was it.
yeah, yeah. Me
And
too.
if I was playing a game, it would be like 15, 20 minutes, and then it would die.
Exactly. Um,
Good
turning it
times.
on for me, turning it on and off was just like horrible. I don't know about you, but yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't stand it.
I can't remember if I how to yeah. Um, I just usually locked it, I think, and then just left it or whatever. I can't.
Did you?
It was
Yeah,
such a
me
long
too.
time ago. It was such a long time ago.
Me too.
I was like,
Dude. Let me just say this: the first time I got it, I didn't know how to shut it off, and I locked it. And then the next day, I wanted to use it, and it was dead. And I'm just like, bruh, this. I just charged this. How is it dead already? Stupid me.
yeah,
I had locked it, but I didn't shut it off, and I'm just like, okay. And that and this is basically when I started to getting into tech and stuff. YouTube was becoming my best friend because I had gotten that. I wanted to know how to turn it on and off and all that. So I just started watching videos, and that's how I learned. And knowing all these other creators, I'm just like, bro, I want to become a creator myself, and teach people, especially for my family, and that's how I basically started, was with my iPod Nano.
yeah.
But
That honestly like
dude,
that and the
dude,
iMac that my family had. Those were like the entry into the Apple ecosystem, and I've literally
yeah.
never looked back.
Oh
Um,
yeah, me either.
I
Me
love it.
either.
Um, but I guess some of the other devices that haven't been updated in a while, like we've got the Magic
Shoot.
Mouse,
Yep.
which hasn't been updated. That I think could use an upgrade
No.
because it hasn't been updated since since 2015. And it would
Yep.
be cool if they like redesigned it a little bit and made it a little bit better. Because I was
Oh
actually going
yeah.
to buy a Magic. I was gonna buy a Magic Mouse 2 for my new MacBook Pro, but I just decided on getting the trackpad and also getting
Hmm.
a an MX Master Mouse, which is from Logitech, and it's got like a bunch of other buttons on there. Because I mean, I think I like the design of the Magic Mouse just because of it's how simple it looks, but it's not very functional.
Me too.
Like
Me too.
it doesn't really have any buttons that you can do things with. But I guess that's Apple. Apple likes to be, or at least the old Apple used to like to they used to really care about the design and it has to look good. Who cares about the features? It has to look good. That was Johnny Ive's mentality. Johnny Ive
Yeah.
designed this mouse and it's a piece of garbage now. Um so yeah.
Um, do you think
But
that
also
do you think that
yeah.
it'll ever get like wireless charging
I
capability?
think I think if they gave it MagSafe, like the same MagSafe that you could charge AirPods and stuff with, I think that would
Yeah.
be absolutely game changing.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think we've talked about it multiple times before. My dream is to be able to have like a charging mat and just being able to put your Mac on it, your iPhone, your iPad, your Magic Mouse, your Magic Keyboard, everything, and it like
Can
everything
you imagine
charges.
having a pad like this and being able to charge everything over here?
Exactly,
That-
exactly. Yeah, that's
Dude,
exactly what I mean.
dude.
That would be
For all
so
you
good.
audio listeners, I just showed Benji my pad over here that I have like everything on my my computer and everything. And I think that this would be something. I actually made a video a little while back, and I said
Yeah,
something about it. If Apple
yeah,
would
I
make
remember
something
that.
like this, it would be epic.
It would be
Apple,
so good.
I mean, if you want something that sells really well, make a pad that you can charge everything on. I think it would really be clutch.
100% for sure. But also another thing that hasn't been updated in a while is the Apple Pencil 2. Um, that again,
Yeah,
I think as of right now it works well, but it could be a lot better. Like especially when we look at like the S Pen, for example, that comes with the uh, Galaxy
Apple
S
Pencil
Tab or whatever
Mini.
it's
That's
called.
all I'm saying.
No, but in all seriousness, I think the Apple Pencil could add some functionality. Like they could add
Yeah,
a couple of extra gestures that you can do. Maybe they could kind of have like the because right now I think you've just got like the double tap and the triple tap on the pencil to do different things. But I think it would be
yep,
cool if
yep.
you could do like with the AirPods Pro where you have the stem that you just press and hold and things like that. I think that would
Right.
be really cool to have on the Apple Pencil and have it do different things like 4 clicks does something, whatever. And
Yeah,
also, of course, they can always make the Apple Pencil a bit faster, things like that. Because I
for
think as of
sure.
right now, the Apple Pencil 2 is so good. Just because like it snaps to the side of your iPad, it charges,
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. Um, and also the latency and stuff is really good. But I think they need to start catching up to Samsung because the S Pen,
Oh
the one
yeah.
at least the one that comes with the tablet, I think is pretty good. Um, but yeah. And then also moving on, we've also got the high-end Mac Mini, which hasn't been updated. Apple still sells the Intel variant of that, um, so that could be used an upgrade. And even AirPods Pro is something that needs an upgrade. And I think
Definitely.
that's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most out of all
Mm-hmm.
of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff that may or may not be updated. Because like I love my AirPods Pro, I use them almost every single day. But there's things
Yeah.
that I'd like in the AirPods Pro that aren't on the AirPods Pro. I think it could be a lot better.
Like what?
Like I mean, I think the battery life is great, but I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe well, I mean, the ones I have don't have MagSafe, so that would be cool to have. If I
Yeah.
upgrade, I'll have MagSafe.
Definitely.
They could also add like different, like they could improve the sound, the sound in it. They could improve the noise canceling as well, because like the noise canceling already is really good, but it could be slightly better. Even the transparency mode, all that stuff. Just kind of give it a little bit more of a polish, making it a little bit faster at like switching across devices, that kind of stuff. So I think just like a speed improvement, pretty much
Yeah,
is what I would like, or even a redesign. Make them a little bit smaller than what they are now. Like make them without the stem. I think that would be pretty interesting to see.
yeah, for
So
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, and also maybe shipping with different ear tips, like foam ear tips as well. I think would be pretty cool, just to make it fit more people.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that would be epic. Especially like I have power beats, and I think for even those would fit me better and just more comfortable. I feel like sometimes I'll like have to move around um my headphones because they get quickly uncomfortable, especially when I'm working out. So I think that would be a little bit better, and just a little bit more gentle on the ear. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, maybe make them a little bit more comfortable, a little less weighted, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly, exactly.
yeah, because I remember when I had the original AirPods. Well, I still have them, but they don't work. Those I used to put in my ears, and they felt super light. I could barely feel them in my
Dude,
ears. But
there
then,
would be times that I thought I lost them, and I'm just like, oh, okay, they're here. Dude, you don't know how
exactly,
many
yeah.
times I'm like, dude, you don't know how many times I'd be walking around the gym and like I'll be leaving and I'll be like, wait, do I have both of them on? And I'll go back to make sure and like my mom would come up to me like, what are you doing? You have them, let's go. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, damn. You don't know how many times I've done it. Oh, it was
Yeah.
crazy. And that was another thing that was why I wanted the power beats was because of the hooks. That way I know that they're in and I haven't lost them. Because there was times with the AirPods, I lost them. I don't even know, So
Yeah, because I mean the AirPods Pro are great, but then like sometimes you can kind of feel that they're in your ear, that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so honestly, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with the next AirPods. Maybe they'll even add some sort of health tracking or something to it.
That'd
So
be
then
sick.
that
That'd
paired
be
with your
sick.
Apple Watch will be able to like track even more, like during workouts and stuff, to help the Apple Watch be a bit more accurate. I think that would be pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
What do
yeah,
you
I
think?
guess
What do you think? Um, the next AirPods Max is gonna be like. Now that we're on the
I hope
subject, I'm curious.
yeah, I hope they make them cheaper. That's all I want. I just want them to
Yeah,
be cheaper because
yeah.
they're already super good, and maybe make them a little bit lighter. Like they could make a plastic version. They don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily need to
Mm-hmm.
keep to have that
Bro, yesterday
aluminium, whatever. Um, I think it would be really cool if they made them cheaper and lighter.
I'm so tempted, especially for the podcast. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I'm actually wearing like $30 headphones right now from uh these are like JLab. I mean they're good, but I really wish I could have like a AirPods Max or something for the podcast because these are
Yeah,
it's just I don't know, but like I kind of feel like I'm a cheap person
I mean, I think
with these on.
even with mine, like I've got the Anchor Soundcore twos. I think they are. They're
Yeah,
really
but
good,
Benji, don't compare
but
those to this. I mean, those look so
of
much better than
course.
mine.
Of course, yeah. Because also yours are just on your headphones. Mine go all the way around my ear, which
Oh shoot, yeah,
makes it nice. So then it
yeah,
blocks
those are
out even
nice
more sound. But
for sure. Yeah.
I would still like to have AirPods Max though. I think those are pretty cool.
Oh
So if they
yeah.
made them
Oh yeah.
cheaper, made them cheaper, made them a little bit lighter. Maybe even
Did you
added, USB-C or MagSafe.
please?
Maybe, just maybe. Um,
uh, that'll be
yeah,
sick. That'll be sick.
that'd be
I
good.
gotta say. Um.
Um, Anyway, I think we've got
So.
our last news story because we've already talked about iPhone 14 Pro and models getting the A16.
Yep.
Next one is Apple Car.
Bruh.
So
Bruh. Oh, I can't wait to see this. Like, it's been so long. They've been talking about it so much off and on, and like, Just confirm it already. Just tell us that it's coming, and
Yeah, like I remember ever since I think almost ever since I started um, creating YouTube videos, I used to always hear about Apple Car, it's gonna happen, Apple Car, and
Dude,
then it's just
I
never
started hearing.
happened. It's
I
just
think it
never
was
happened.
back. I think it was back in like 2014. I made thing on Instagram, and I'm just like, Apple Car, say what? And dude, till this day, my friends make fun of me because of that, because I said that, and it still hasn't happened, and they're just like, bruh, what the heck? And I'm just like, well, that's Apple for you, and that's why I really like when it comes to leaks and rumors, I really don't talk about it on my channel because I feel like if I talk about it, it's just gonna end up in the air somewhere. You know what I mean? Like look at
Yeah,
look at the what was it called? The mat there. I can't think of the name
air
now.
power, air
Air
power,
power. Air power.
where power,
Exactly.
no power, dead power.
So, look at air power. I talked about it so much that it was coming, it was not, it was coming. And at that point, I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? I don't know where the heck it is. So, when it comes to that, it's just like, man, can you just confirm it and let everybody talk about it so I can finally say it's coming? This is why I like it. This is why I don't like it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, so
exactly. I mean, I hope this is true. Ming Chi Kuo is pretty
good.
reliable
Yeah,
with
he
these
is. He
leaks,
is.
and apparently, what he said is that this is what he said exactly. The Apple Car project team has been dissolved for some time. The reorganization within the next 3 to 6 months is necessary to achieve the goal of mass production by 2025. I mean, we've been seeing quite a lot of like rumors that look like they're going in the direction of Apple is still making the car and it's going to come out soon. Because, I mean, they ordered
Yep.
a bunch of self driving chips. And, like, why would you do that if you're not building a car?
Right.
Unless you're, like, doing, I don't know what else they could be doing with self driving chips. Maybe they're building a satellite. Who knows? They're building satellites for, for satellite connectivity. But
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
think maybe. So it's just a self navigating rocket ship. Just the Apple space the what would they call it? Because I mean they've already technically got Apple spaceship, which is Apple Park. But
Oh
anyway,
man, I
um,
know.
so I mean if they do reach mass production by 2025 and stuff like that, I think it would be really really exciting if it
Yeah, for
happens.
sure.
And hopefully this whole because like I think the project's been was approved since 2014. That's the first time we really started hearing about this
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
actually becoming a reality. So like it's taken them almost 10 years to develop a car, which I mean I guess makes sense because like it's a car, it's not a phone.
Right,
Like a
right.
car's got so many different things you need to think about. You need to think about like um the the shape, how safe it is,
Yeah.
like what features you're gonna have in it. Does it where to put everything as well, like the design of everything. It's good. It is a lengthy
This.
process, I can imagine, and
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
Apple wanting to do a fully self-driving car without having any
That's
experience on the road.
see
Like
that's the
it's they're
thing. I don't
they're
know
not
how well that's gonna work because technically we're not even legalized. Like, not many places are legal to self-driving
exactly
vehicles.
exactly.
So how is that gonna work? But
Yeah, and I think especially since you've got Tesla that's been around for years, and
exactly my point.
they've got millions of cars on the road that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
constantly recording um, people driving and the surroundings around them, how the driver behaves and reacts to certain things, and the AI is constantly learning. But then you've got Apple on the other hand that's never made a car in their life, like
right.
they just decided, oh yeah, let's make a car that just drives itself. Like you literally have no experience. Like I guess the closest thing they have is Apple Maps, but even then,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you don't have the Apple Maps car isn't going to be driving in the same exact area every single day for like years on end. Unlike
Right.
someone who has a
Right.
Tesla. So honestly, I mean, unless Apple partners with Tesla and they do a special deal, or they partner with some other company that's working on self-driving stuff that has a lot of users out. I think Tesla's like the biggest company that does self-driving cars, even though it's not fully self-driving yet. But some people are getting those betas and stuff in places that it's allowed. So I'm really interested to see if it really will reach mass production by 2025, and if it really is going to be a fully self-driving. Because I think self-driving cars, like fully self-driving, I don't think we're that close to it yet. Like there's still a lot of things that need to be sorted out. Like even the self-driving capabilities in Tesla is sometimes a bit dodgy.
I was gonna say, like, I wouldn't even trust the Tesla right now. With self-driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it a little bit, but
I think I wouldn't say that I don't trust it, but I would say like I still would keep my foot ready to put it on the brake or accelerate or keep my hands near the steering wheel. Because yes, it's scary to think that like a computer can drive you around.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not perfect. I don't think it will reach that point unless all cars go fully self-driving. I think if all cars in the world are fully self-driving and like communicate with each other, then that will be safe enough. I think for like completely trust the car. And yeah, I mean, yes, you've always got the issue where some hacker might hack into your car and do something weird and make it crash. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. I mean, with Apple here, I really hope that when they do release this car, that it's actually going to release and that it's actually going to be good. And hopefully it also has the option to drive it yourself, because I don't think self-driving is ready for it yet. They haven't even started beta testing this thing, I don't think. I mean, they do have, I think, a couple of cars out there that are kind of they're testing self-driving with. I think they filed like some thing in California to ask for permission if they could do self-driving on the roads and stuff, and they got approved or whatever, and then one of them crashed into someone. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll have to see if they're even doing the Apple car, because we've been hearing about it for so long, and you've already got Tesla that's out there like killing the game with electric and self-driving vehicles, and you've got on the other hand some other companies that aren't doing too hot with it. It's really going to be interesting to see how the next 4 years, no, not even 4 years, 3 years play out with this self-driving stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Definitely. So that's pretty much it that we have for today. I think. Anything else you wanted to talk about real quick, or?
No, I think everything's good. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, you can go to the links in the description below if you want to read up on any of the news stories we mentioned. If you have any questions, let us know on Twitter. You can also follow us on social media, both personally and the podcast stuff in the description.
Definitely.
Yeah, is there any last words you have for us?
No, not really, man. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast. Thank you, Benjy. It was a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, this was episode 23, by the way. So we're getting there.
Wow, see you next week, man. Guys. See you guys.